Hey everybody, Bill 1911. We are here at Miami International Arms. They got a great selection. You should see the place. In fact, you will see the place. So anyway, what I was telling you about this thing is, let me go ahead and open this back up again.
You got it.
And show you this. Okay, when you pull the trigger and hold it back, if you press the hammer forward, you can see one of those firing pins is now protruding, okay? But as soon as you let go of the trigger and let that hammer go back, it locks so that it can't be pushed back forward. That makes this a very safe gun, okay? It's a good safe gun. Like I said, on the old style ones, if that hammer is all the way forward, if it's not in what they call the half-cock position, it's dangerous to close it if you've got ammunition in it because the firing pins are sticking out. At least one of them is sticking out. The most dangerous one is the top one that's right there next to the hinge, because when you close that barrel, you've got a lot of mechanical advantage and it can pop that primer on you. So that's with the old style Derringer. I have one of those, but you got to be careful with it.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
And it hurts the hand too. I've shot that gun. It's, well, I dislocated my thumb.
It's just a 38. But it's small, so it's got some punch to it behind it. Yeah.
I've seen it in 45. We've carried a number of them. So, like,
They have a 4570 now. I
Yeah.
saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
4570. Like
Yes,
this?
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
a double barrel.
I mean,
Hey,
the cartridge itself's got to be almost as long as the barrel.
It is, yeah.
It's wild. So, like, with having something around like 1,300 different guns in stock, different, not repeated,
Right.
like literally different. It's impossible to know everything that there is to know about every single gun. And other than this gun being cool, I knew very little about it, and you just told me a bunch of new things. Like, I was unaware of that closing in the hammer.
Yeah.
And the
Well, it's not an issue on this one. On the Bond arms, this is designed so it's not an issue. But the old style ones, those you can end up with a problem with.
Yeah.
So the way you can check that, if you want to, is you got a Derringer, okay? If you pull the trigger, okay, and let the hammer go all the way forward, you can see how the firing pin's sticking out, okay? On the old style Derringer, if that hammer's all the way forward, you're definitely going to see that. Now, when you let the hammer come back out, you'll hear it click, and that locks it so it can't come back forward.
Got it.
And that makes this a very safe design. So the Bond is a really good gun. I'm very happy, and it's heavy enough that it's not going to come apart on you. You could take this to the range and shoot it and shoot it and shoot it until your wrist won't take it anymore. And it's not going to hurt the gun. It's not going to come apart on you. So it's a very good gun. I'm very happy with the one that I have.
Yeah, and this particular one, when we got it, came with like a really nice leather holster. Personally, like, I'm not a big fan of leather holsters because of the possibility that it can, like, the leather can become soft and it can depress the trigger. But this particular leather holster has a hard polymer something inside of it to keep it from doing that. So.
Yeah, that's nice.
But it's a cool gun. Other guns are clear, safe, and empty, but because there's always that guy who can go pound sand. Yeah, clear. All right, so this is the FNPS 90, which is chambered in 5.7 by 28, made in Belgium. That's where originally it was designed. This one has a magazine with 30, as you were 50 rounds.
50?
50 rounds.
Wow.
Right? Which would probably cost you, I don't know, some $70 to fill.
Yeah. Yeah.
$70 to fill. It has a bullpup design, which means that the barrel is a 16-inch barrel that starts somewhere back here. And the trigger mechanism is up front. Safety selector switch is right next to the trigger. It's a pretty cool gun. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was designed for and utilized by SWAT Special Forces in Belgium. They wanted it to go all over NATO, and I don't think it quite made it, but it's a really fun gun to shoot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, bullpups are really good in close quarters. If you're inside a building with a lot of hallways and stuff like that, you want something that's short like this. you start looking, there's no way you could walk through with that Barret up there sticking out in front of you, you know? It's just no way.
Not
So
gonna happen.
this is very advantageous.
And the caliber is very fast. The projectile comes out at extremely high velocity. It has the ability for impact without over penetration because they're still under like 40 grains. So it's not a very big projectile, but the velocity is definitely there.
Yeah.
Now, FN also makes a model called 5.7. And the 5.7, of course, is chambered in 5.7 by 28. So that makes logistic a lot easier because now you have the ability to carry your sidearm and your rifle in the same caliber. So, like, you know, one of the things that makes the United States military such a, you know, efficient military is our logistic power, right?
Absolutely.
So in the Marine Corps, we say that for every infantryman, you have 3 support.
Yeah.
So the logistic is what really wins. And when you have multiple calibers to carry, you have multiple magazines to fill, multiple weight, all this other stuff. When you reduce that to 1 caliber for multiple firearms, it definitely makes the logistic process easier and the combat load for the operator that much nicer too.
Do you have that pistol here?
5.7?
Now we're gonna do something really difficult. He's actually gonna show us how to open the box. That's the hard part here. Kidding.
Let me break it down to you, Barney style. All right, first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna figure out which way it opens. You're gonna grab the little tab and you're gonna pull it open, right? You see that? Do not mess that up. Then you gotta see the bag, right? This one here has a zipper. The zipper is undone. This is unset. In the Marine Corps, this wouldn't fly. So we open this up and there you have your firearm. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get it out, magazine out, clear it. Nothing in the chamber.
Yep.
All right, so we have a clear, safe, and empty weapon. This magazine to the side.
And they all come in that box, kit, everything like that?
Yeah, nowadays they come in this cardboard box and the range bag inside with a few magazines.
Cool.
I have a couple of ones, a couple of other ones in like the FDE tone for the guys who are like desert tactical. So cartridges, right? So oftentimes when I show cartridge, I gotta put things into perspective. So here's your 5.56 223 round that many of us are familiar with. And then let me find the 5.7 round. This is your 5.7 round.
And just to let you know, this actually does look an awful lot like that 5.7 Johnson round that I was talking about earlier. Ira Johnson took an M1 carbine back in the day, and they were putting a 22 caliber barrel on it and chambering it with that 5.7 Johnson round. That was a long time ago.
What's that?
50 cal.
That's a 50 BMG. Yeah. Yeah. I have an AR-50 at the house, single shot bolt action. And it's the darndest thing when I shoot it. The gun weighs 38 pounds, so it's heavy. So when you put the thing up to your shoulder, you're looking at that 50 cal round, and you think, oh, this thing's gonna kick the crap out of me. It doesn't. It kicks about like a 20 gauge shotgun. The weird thing is the concussive wave that comes back out of the muzzle brake and slaps you in the forehead.
That's hard.
It's funny. It just cracks you up because you're not expecting it the first time you shoot it.
With this one, you have a 5.56 millimeter by 45, right? If I'm not mistaken.
45.
That is your 5.56.223, and you either get it usually in a 55 grain or in the military, which is a 62 grain.
62.
And a lot of, for those who don't know, the grain, we are referring to a measure, a unit of measure for the weight of the projectile, not the grains of powder that are inside of the cartridge, okay? Often people do not know that. And then on the 5.7 millimeter by 28 millimeter, we have up to 40 grains. So if this was a 62 grain, this would be 40 grains. So we're talking like 50% difference in the weight of the projectile. So when you think about the joules of the impact, the force of impact, makes a big difference. At long range, this will not be as effective, but at short range, heck of a kick.
Yeah.
Right, so when people talk about armor piercing and what it can go through and whatnot, you got to understand what kind of armor we're talking about, right? Because there's different levels of armor. In this particular plate here that is made by Miguel Caballero out of Colombia, who recently opened a factory here in South Florida. These plates we were sending to Ukraine, we sent to Israel. Here I did some test fires. I shot 223, I shot 223 55 grain, I shot 556 62 grain, and then 762 51 149 grain. So coming to the other side, there's no penetration. So when you talk about if a round will be able to penetrate armor or whatnot, you just got to be cognizant of what kind of armor and what level of armor.
Right. Yeah, you have to be aware of that. You don't want to wear a vest that's, okay, stopping 38s and 357s, you know, and then try to stop rifle rounds with it. You're not going to be successful. You're just going to get you shot.
And then this this round right here, this cartridge, is a 308 7.62 51, similar to the one that we use in this. As you can see, the holes in here, but no impact on the other. No penetration on the other
Now,
side.
back in the day when I was a sniper, this was what I shot.
And before you, Carlos Halfcock, 30-06.
Yes, 30-06. Well, it's interesting. This guy, for a long time, held all the accuracy rounds out to 500 rounds. I don't think it does anymore.
500 rounds?
Or 500 meters, excuse me.
Do you have a 30-06 there?
No, I do not.
Okay.
From
I wish I did.
500 to 1,000, this starts to spread out for some reason. Don't ask me why, but it does. But the 30-06 held all the records between 500 and 1,000. And it was like that for many years.
Yeah, but it didn't have the stopping punch that the 308 had, though, because of the velocity. And the 30-06 also had a big drop.
Oh, huge drop, yeah.
So there's advantage and disadvantage. That's why I say, like, what do you want it for? What is the application? What do you want to accomplish? Right?
Exactly.
Like, it's like cars, right? You can buy a nice fuel-efficient car, but it's not going to be able to go very fast because a fast car is usually not fuel-efficient.
Right.
Or you're not going to be able to tow, and vice versa. So, you know, like, seldomly do you get a car that does everything.
Right, right.
Right? And friends usually give each other gifts and whatnot. I usually give my friends gifts that doesn't involve anything to do with guns because I don't want to mix it through, right?
Right.
So, but my friends in turn give me gun-related gifts. So this is a mug that they got from EOTech. And the cool thing behind it is that here it shows you a EOTech optic, but when there is hot coffee in here or liquid, the reticle lights up. So when I finish the coffee and it disappears, then we'll show you how it
goes
looks
away.
the other way around. So yeah,
So if you put something cold in it, would it turn blue?
it doesn't appear at all.
Okay.
I don't think it's that high tech.
Yeah. Okay. What we were talking about earlier is this is a mock-up of like an optical sight, and you would see the reticle in the middle. And the reticle is the thing that you aim through. But when this is cold, there's no reticle in there. Watch what happens when he pours hot coffee in it. Wait a few seconds.
And there it is.
Oh, you see it? It's starting to come up right now. Look at that. And it's kind of going up from the bottom up. Is that neat or what? That is a cool coffee cup. I like that.
I like it.
Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. Hey listen, if you're watching this video, if you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? That's really important to us. And make sure you like us, and by all means, come to visit us at AskBill1911.com.